So here's something pretty pretty surprising. This is from the Jordan Peterson Instagram page. Now, it appears that Jordan Peterson's fan base has completely turned on Dave Rubin. Now, this is interesting because I did not see this coming, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly why this revolt or mutiny against Dave Rubin has occurred. But it is something interesting to think about. But the background is this was posted one day ago. This was posted yesterday, and it's a picture of Jordan Peterson with Douglas Murray, Majid Nawaz, and then Dave Rubin. And the caption for the post from Jordan Peterson says picture from May 2018. That was when this picture was taken, essentially a repost. So this picture is kind of like a flashback picture. I don't know if it's the only picture that he has of him with Douglas Murray, because that's the only person he even mentions in this post. It says, the Jordan B. Peterson Podcast, Season 4, Episode 3, Douglas Murray. I had the great good fortune on January 15, 2021 of talking to Douglas Murray, the author of The Madness of Crowds, Gender, Race, and Identity. Douglas and I met a couple of years ago and got along quite remarkably well. Douglas was gracious enough to mediate a discussion that I had with Sam Harris in the Olympic Stadium in London. We've talked a little bit since then, but it's been a couple of years, so I spent time reviewing The Madness of Crowds. In this episode, we discussed a whole variety of things, some associated with the book and some not. Available on YouTube and given the link. So he doesn't even mention Dave Rubin or Majid Nawaz, who are included, which makes me think that, okay, maybe he didn't have another photo of him with Douglas Murray. I really have no idea. But as soon as you scroll down in the comments section, the first comment here reads, 3 smart guys and Dave Rubin. Then the next one says, Dave Rubin sucks. The next one says, that's all great except for Rubin, lol, I wish him all the best. But he's not on y'all's league by any stretch of the imagination. His political analysis is just childish. Next one says, Dave Rubin is a clown. Dave seems to be a bit of a grifter, wouldn't you say? Sad to see Rubin there. This one is making a joke about it, making fun of the idea that these guys are all right. It says, Dave Rubin is such an absolute goof. I would never hang with Dave Rubin. Peterson, bro, stop it. LOL. I love this, but it's been sad to watch Dave Rubin go off the deep end. He was so integral for a while there. Rubin is a grifter. He needs to not be included. LMAO hanging out with Rave Dubin, I see. Rave Dubin is a meme name of Dave Rubin. Next one says, drop Rubin already. I mean, there's this entire comment section, at least the top of it, is essentially almost entirely just completely going in on Dave Rubin. I did not expect this. I'm not really sure where this came from. If I had to guess what the origins of this is, what I've noticed from Dave Rubin is, remember that all of his friends have been turning on him lately. Sam Harris turned in his imaginary intellectual dark web membership card. He voiced his displeasure with the members of the intellectual dark web, kind of hinting at Dave Rubin and potentially the others. I don't know about the Weinstein bros. Typically those guys, the Weinstein, typically those bros were more on the liberal side, on the liberal side. So I don't know if they were doing all the Trump stuff with the whole vote shenanigans. But what I've noticed is Dave Rubin has completely floored the gas pedal on going insane and hopping into this grift, where he's dismissing coronavirus shutdowns. He is going in on these, sort of lies about the election and stuff like that. So he's completely gone insane. So that could be one reason. Also, I have to say that, I think the displeasure with the other members of the intellectual dark web, the displeasure that they have sort of voiced about Dave Rubin, I think that might be one of the reasons. I think that it's interesting that people are really seeing through Dave Rubin. I thought one of the most hilarious moments for Dave Rubin was that one time where he said, I'm no longer an atheist, and Jordan Peterson helped. It's so laughable because it's so predictable and it's so obvious what he's doing. He already changed. He had an evolution on his political takes, but he still calls himself a classical liberal to dupe people. I think at this point everybody just sees through his grift and his lie. And I guess even IDW fans, intellectual dark web fans, see this, but I I can't lie to you guys, man. I did not expect to see this from this comment section. I really seriously did not expect to see this. People just absolutely going in. It says, Rubin, I'm out. Rubin is so cringe. please no Dave Rubin. One of these is not like the other, obviously referencing Dave Rubin. Please know why Rubin. Oof, any photo taken with Dave Rubin is cursed. JP is awesome. Dave Rubin on the other hand, vomit emoji, crying emoji. It's crazy. I just didn't expect this to happen, but it looks like Jordan Peterson, there's not a lot known about Jordan Peterson right now because he went through like a hospitalization due to benzo addiction. So there's not a lot known exactly about Jordan Peterson and his fan base right now. But people calling out Dave Rubin, it's going to be interesting to see. Because Jordan Peterson was really where Dave Rubin was making his money for a while. What Dave Rubin does is he latches himself on to really popular people and milks them for views. Because, Dave Rubin's show doesn't really depend on him, right? He's not even like a Larry King type of guy. All of it is just dependent on the people that he's interviewing. So what kicked off his show was Sam Harris coming on his show. Sam Harris came on his show. He milked that for every last thing he could. Then he ditched Sam Harris. Then he jumped on the Ben Shapiro wave and took all that. And simultaneously, he was on the Milo Yiannopoulos train. Remember when he was milking that really hard? And then he ditched him as soon as it was no longer convenient for him. Then he jumped on the Jordan Peterson train. And it was a combo Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro train. He's for the most part jumped off the Shapiro train, but it's going to be interesting to see if he continues to try to milk the Jordan Peterson cow or not, and whether or not Jordan Peterson wants to associate himself with Dave Rubin. Funny enough, I do remember a video from a big Jordan Peterson fan actually laughing at Dave Rubin and just being ashamed at how embarrassing it was that like his job was to open for Jordan Peterson's shows, and just it felt so trivial and so embarrassing and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see, but since Dave Rubin is the odd one out, it's just the comments going in on him is absolutely crazy. But hey, man, that's what Dave Rubin is like now.